Good evening, I'm Zarganart and welcome to my studio. So, and looking at that and deciding if I actually want to change it slightly. Probably not. So, tonight, background carve here. Maybe smooth over these edges on this frame. And I think we'll use the pyrographic machine to put that lettering in. And I think we'll do that first, just so that we don't rub out any of the markings. So we'll turn that on, turn that heat down, and turn that over like that. Now that's already hot, but I'm going to get a drink first. Sure. Right. It looks darker than it actually is. Bad lighting, I'm afraid. Not a lot I can do about it because the lights are all trained on the desk. Now what I really ought to do here is raise the desk, but I'm not going to. One of the things I'm going to do is switch glasses. These will let me see a bit easier, which reminds me, where? Oh, they're up there. Yeah, my other magnifying glasses. Right. Now I know this isn't hot enough, but it is for what I want to do now. Oh, actually it's hotter than I thought it was. I do actually have an option here. I could just outline this stuff. Which is kind of in keeping with the way the card looks. So I think one of the things we'll do is we'll outline it. See what the outline looks like. And if we don't like it, can change it by filling it in. Right, I am concentrating on what I'm doing. But if I remember, I'll actually speak! Just if nothing else, that you know the microphone isn't muted. Might fill it in just because of not getting fantastically good edges. Actually, that's partly because this is a little bit warm and I am being a bit tentative. When you're working with a hot pyrographic tool, it's actually better to be decisive with the strokes. If you can, because you get a better overall image. Now I do keep adjusting the angle of this because I'm using it as though it's like a fountain pen or a nib based pen, which means that it's wider in one direction than the other, and that will give me thick and thin lines. Now effectively, that's what this font actually is a little bit sort of calligraphy like, in that it's got thick and thin bits, so don't particularly want to emphasize that with the outlines I'm putting down. So I finally got around to watching the SpaceX launch today. That was quite an interesting thing, 20 minutes. All the way to the booster touchdown. Still think it's amazing, science fiction like. Because the spacecraft landing on its tail, or in this case 2 of them. I've actually been at Cape Canaveral for a rocket launch, a satellite launch, so it's not as big a rocket as the Falcon Heavy, and even then with the smaller rockets you felt the ground move, so when those things took off it must have been one heck of a ground shake, a feeling. It becomes quite just sort of the throb in the air and the feeling that you get inside just from the air movements. is one of the things that makes things like rocket launch is so thrilling, I guess, and exciting, and why, you know, everybody's cheering and things like that, because it is just such an amazing kind of experience. Kind of the nearest I've got to that is I have been underneath Concord at takeoff when it's taken off from there's a if you I was going to say, if you ever get the chance to go up to Leeds which if you're in a completely different country, there's an airport at Leeds in West Yorkshire which Concorde used to fly from on charter flights. One of the things about that we discovered on one of our trips up there to watch it was that there's a road goes just past the end of the runway, and I don't mean, well, I was about to say just past, that sort of thing, but if you sort of think that's the length of the runway, full length, which is, I don't know, quite a long way, the road literally sort of just comes right past the edge of it. You know, you can see the edge of the runway from the road. It's about 20 odd feet lower, but then Concorde, when it went over the top, full reheats on, used to be about, I don't know, 50, 150, something like that feet above your head. Obviously not very far. It's just taken off, and you're literally at the edge of the runway, and it's going full power, and you feel it. It's loud, but it's not actually that loud. You feel it. The floor vibrates, you vibrate, and just the sight of the sort of the thing going away from you with the reheats, you can see the hot gases at the tailpipe. An absolutely amazing experience, and of course, unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. But I don't think there's any other runway where you can actually get that close. Because I mean, Heathrow, which you used to regularly, of course, fly out of, you don't get that close to the ends of the runway. Mind you, I have been lucky. I did get to be in the Concorde cockpit during a takeoff from Rovaniemi in Lapland at night. See that to be actually in there during the takeoff. That was an absolutely amazing thing to see. Although I did nearly break the fingers of the commentating pilot that was there by accident, because the chair I was in wasn't locked down properly and it slid backwards, trapping his hand. And when you push back by those engines and reheats, it's kind of hard to pull the seat forward. Unfortunately, I can't remember who was flying that flight. One of the other things I've managed to do as well, which is even rarer than flying on Concorde, is to actually fly Concorde. I don't actually mean sit in a seat while it's going along, although I've done that. I actually mean being in the left-hand seat, in the cockpit, hands on the controls, making it do things, literally flying it. Although it was a simulator. So, but it's as close as anybody who wasn't a qualified Concorde pilot ever got to doing it. And that was fun, doing aerobatics almost with Concorde, because it kind of does fly like that. It was being simulated as being empty with a light fuel load. So we did a few takeoffs. And that's when you sit the hand on the yoke, the other hand on the throttles, and you go 3, 2, 1, go. You throw the throttles right forward, then the reheats kick in 2 at a time. Sorry, when you're up at altitude, but when you're taking off, the reheats are on there as well. But it's just the kicking. You even on the simulator get that kick. Of course, you have to. It's a simulator. That's the whole point. But that was an amazing experience. I think it was Taipei International Airport, the old one, where you used to have to land on a curve. Planes used to have to come. There's a new airport there now where they've got a straight in approach, but they used to come in over the city, do a curved approach to land, and I managed to hit the runway. Well, I managed to land on the runway. Flying Concorde on that approach, come in, land on the runway. I didn't stay on the runway and I wasn't on it for very long, but at least I got on the runway. In fact, I was the only person there was 4 of us there. I was the only person that could actually land Concorde. I did it. Was it twice or 3 times? Can't remember now. Nobody else in the group could actually land it, and that included a private pilot, which was quite amusing, really, because we weren't quite flying it. We were flying it in what they term arcade mode. So some things were simplified. You didn't worry about things like radio. Well, actually, the radio altimeter was working, but you didn't worry about things like ILS and autopilot setups and configs and things like that. It was a simplified configuration, but we were still controlling the plane and landing it, and that was. I don't know if they ever. I think the simulator still runs, but I don't know where it is now off the top of my head. It used to be in Felton, the home of Concorde. It might actually still be there. But if ever there is an opportunity to fly the Concorde simulator, I'd recommend doing it. It's an amazing experience. And having been in the railplane and the simulator, they felt the same. It is absolutely amazing how motion control can make something that, because the graphics in the simulator you could say weren't that good. I mean, a modern PC produces a better screen resolution, higher frame rate, everything. Yet as soon as you put, it might have been low resolution, relatively speaking, on the simulator, but as soon as you put motion with it, you forget that it's real. 100%. You're not going, oh, this is a simulation because it's low resolution. Your brain, you're flying that thing, and you make a mistake, and it is, it's bye bye. So you can certainly see if you ever have a go with one, the power of a full motion simulator like that is really amazing. I mean, I gather virtual reality (VR) gets your eyes can override your brain. You can your brain simulates movement because your eyes are saying you're moving it, but in the simulator it was the other way around. Your eyes were saying this isn't particularly real, but as soon as you start, it's if you have any sort of interest in flying, I guess, and actually flying a real aircraft, if you get the opportunity or chance, it would certainly be something that I would recommend, going into a simulator and seeing what it's like actually fly, something 747, Airbus, whatever, because there are some companies that do these sort of things. They have a simulator and you can go in and you can hire it, and they do sort of experiences, we call them sort of half a day or something, where 4 of you or whatever get to fly the 747, for example, for half an hour. Fortunately, they're not cheap, but if you get the opportunity, I personally would think they are worth it. Certainly,
Sorry, I don't know that.
The Concorde one certainly was. Okay, so we'll leave it like that for the moment, and we might come back to that and fill it in. We shall decide that later. One of the things I can do now is use this and erase that pink transfer media, hopefully without getting any of it into the grain of the wood. Good things are these rubbers. You do have to keep them clean, otherwise you spread. It makes a good I was going to say smudger. What do you call them? Oh, what do you call it now? It's not a buffing stick. I cannot remember what the tool is called. It's used to blend. It's blending tool. That's what I was trying to think of. A blending tool. Blend two things together. That's a little bit high, but nah. Okay. Just not so bad like that. Rather, I don't know if they want to be necessarily blacker. Not sure about that. What we may do is get in on in under the teeth there, in the back, and maybe darken the back of the mouth down. I'm not sure about that. Right. Now, let's go for a gouge. A U-gouge. That one. So, we're going to do something. What we're going to do? Don't know. Something sort of random, I guess. I don't want to really crank down on this vice because I don't want to damage the desktop, but I have a real urge to just wind that screw down on the bottom. I mean, the fact I've got it on a pad of paper doesn't help, but again, that's there to stop it from damaging the desk. But it twists slightly and moves. Which I don't like. So what am I doing here? Something. Don't actually know what. I'm just going to be putting on a pattern. Because this thing is spinning in the vise, I'm not able to do that quite how I wanted. was this exactly going to be a random design, but I don't actually have a design in mind. I'm just going to cut the wood and see sort of what happens. We're not particularly trying to be very deep here, not particularly very meaningful. It literally is just cut some shapes. Yeah, kind of over the years I've sort of spent quite a bit of time trying to work out with that when I did that contract thing, just why I was able to land. And a private pilot, qualified, licensed private pilot, couldn't land it. Now, it wasn't at that time that I played flight simulators or anything like that. Back in those days, I can't even remember if Microsoft Flight Simulator was out. I can remember an older thing called an air transport pilot, which is sort of a wireframe thing, if I remember rightly. That was really good. So it wasn't like I'd sort of practiced or anything like that. The only thing I was sort of conclusion I came to in the end was that I flew model aircraft at the time, and Concorde you have to land quite a large nose up, and it sort of comes in at an odd sort of angle if you're used to flying a normal plane, I guess, which sort of flies it. Concorde sort of hovers it, and you quite often land model aircraft the same way, what they call a high angle of attack. So it sort of comes in like that, gets you a short landing. And the only thing I can think of is I was kind of used to having an aircraft at those sorts of angles, but there again, with a model aircraft, of course, you're not inside it, and you're looking at it from outside, and that's a completely different experience to when you're inside the thing. So I'm not actually even sure that that's a valid reason to why. And the other thing could be that I am just always, I am also very good at listening to instructions. Because it was kind of the same a few years ago. I wanted to try scuba diving, and we were on holiday and just decided, actually near the end of the holiday, that I'd have a go, as you do. Now, as it turned out, I was a little bit too close to the end of the holiday, and a little bit what's the word I was looking for? Yeah, the place was a little bit short-staffed at the time, because they only generally offered lessons on Sundays. But they very kindly said that at least, wouldn't necessarily get it would be a full lesson, but I'd be able to try it. And so you generally, I guess, you start in the swimming pool, as I guess some of these things do. And I was only there about 10 minutes, and they go through the basic things there about picking up your air, your regulator if it drops out, and breathing and things like that, and the buoyancy vest. I'm trying to think what they call it, but anyway, and how to use that and things. And they then decided that if I wanted, I could actually go out into the sea. They'd be quite happy to take me out into the sea. And yeah, I don't mind. Tank on the back, clippers in hand, because it's kind of hard to walk, walk down to the sea from the hotel, and then spent something like about 40 minutes, I think, in the sea. Start by doing a few exercises in the water, which were sort of, again, buddy breathing and things like that. And then they sort of just went a sort of a swim, pointing out some of the fish. When I mentioned the other night, I was absolutely blown away by the fish. I mean, there weren't actually, well, as far as I know, there weren't actually any special fish, but just the fact that when you're underwater, there anyway, you can't see the water. I mean, it gets dark as you go look further away, but you can't actually see the water. And then there's this animal comes by in mid-air. It would be literally like seeing an animal, a fish, cat, whatever, just suddenly coming past in the air now in front of me. And wow! And that was just the amazing thing about it. But one of the afterwards, I mean, I was sort of due to go home for the end of the holiday, sort of a day or so later, and they basically said at the time that if I'd have wanted to go on to do the full course, they would have been absolutely pleased to have me do it. Of course, well, I mean, you paid, so. But one of the things they said is it would probably take the absolute minimum time that they needed, because they hadn't actually had anybody for, I don't know, for a long time or whatever, that was actually that good. I'd listened to what they said, it did what they said, and they basically said they'd love to have, they'd quite happily go out and, if I wanted to, just even go out into the sea, they'd be, not on a training or anything like that, they'd quite happily, one of them would go with me, sort of a training if you like, but they'd dive with me. Without completing a course, which was quite a compliment, really. So I guess I listened to instructions. But yes, that's another experience that I would highly recommend to somebody who can do own water diving. Yeah, let's switch to small gouge, which I think is this one here. Yep. I don't know if we can do something. Yeah, just marks, don't mean anything, just marks. All they do is just give a little bit of interest to that area of the wood. I'm just going to see if I can do something here. Just down in this section here. Just that. Doesn't need... I'm not going to say anything fancy. This is fancy. Just like that. Now then, what we'll now do is do something on this side. Maybe same, maybe different. In fact, it won't be the same. We don't want anything looking particularly symmetric. Okay. Now then. One way up. You know what? Should do that the right way around. So I just round off the outside edge of this frame. Which you can do with a flat chisel, as long as you're doing outside curves or outside edge curves. You can't do inside edge curves with the flat chisel. For that you need a round chisel, but you can do outside edges like this. I mean, I can do the inside of that because it's kind of an outside edge, even though it's curved this way because it's that sort of outside edge. I'll turn it this way to do down here, otherwise it will split the wood. And at this stage of the carve, I don't want any split wood at all. I might be able to deal with it if I get it, but I don't want it. That'll do. Do the same on this edge. This is really just kind of a lot of shaving more than anything. I'm not. It's carving, I suppose, but this is the sort of thing that a block plane would do, or a thumb plane. Now one thing I could do with this edge is distress it a little, make it look old and worn, basically just by tapping it with a small hammer or other irregular shaped object, just to create dints and nicks. I'm not going to do it though, I don't think. I like this as it is. That is something you can do if you want to create like a distressed, old, worn sort of look to things. This is where I have to carve basically left-handed. Of course I'm not as good carving left-handed as I am right-handed.
Talk about another kind of world. Another kind of world.
What are you afraid of?
I'm lost in old ways.
Okay, now then. Let's see if I can do a little bit on the inside.
Well, here goes nothing.
Now it is harder on the inside, in this particular case, because of course all the close carving is done on the inside of this.
Talk about another kind of world. Another kind of world.
What are you afraid of?
Now all I'm trying to do is just make it look less angular, less sharp. So just rounding it off very slightly, doesn't need a great deal.
Just listen.
I'm going to get him down there, but we'll see about that. Cut went a bit deep. Now yes, I could get sandpaper and do some of this with sandpaper. I don't like the way it looks when it's been sandpapered, which is why I don't want to do it. Okay, just knocking the sharp edge off, really. Yeah, I've got to try and get down there as well, otherwise that will look unfinished.
Yo, what's going on?
Right. Now, the rough stuff doesn't really matter that much because it kind of is in keeping. So, I just need to tidy some bits up. Which I need the power tool. Just in here where we did some carving. To tidy up some edges, I need to now roughen the base back down. Yep. Right. Now I need a screwdriver. So I've got over here. And number 2. Yeah, number 2 a bit, looks about right. So you might not realise what I'm doing, but I am actually taking this piece of wood off the carving vise. This is how it's sort of fastened on. Some screws in the base. Why am I taking it off? Because I don't need it anymore. Why don't I need it anymore? The carving's done. And it stands up, which was the idea, of course. Because I should try and get rid of maybe the pencil liner on the outside. Now at some point what I might do is get the belt sander going and just sand these edges a little bit. In which case, me rubbing this line off is completely pointless because the belt sander will do a lot better job of it. Yeah, it's a rotary, it's been cut with a rotary saw, is this?
Alleyways dusty, back streets are broken, tokens of the past, celebrated by hoping for a brighter tomorrow. Green grass syndrome, it's drought time, so the lawns dry as a boat. Project a fantasy trip in another direction, to quench the thirst for a deeper connection. Eyes meet for a fleeting.
Removing the pencil line serves no purpose whatsoever. But we are done. So that's a bit of tidying up to do there. I don't know whether to do any colour or pyrography like in his mouth. Make it black, for example, inside. Whether to put colour on there. It's something I'll think about, but it won't be something we do now. We'll maybe think about that in a little while. But that's going to be it for tonight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put away some tools. Now I know where to put this now. So first thing I do is put the chisels away. This is a leather pouch. I'm putting them into here. So I'll put them away here into a leather pouch. Leather's a good idea for chisels because it doesn't damage the sharp edges. In fact, it protects the sharp edges because if these move, it digs in slightly and stops them being bent and things. So chisels, leather pouches are good for chisels. like that. So always keep chisels, keep the edges protected on chisels. If you're talking about sort of common carpenter chisels, they often come with a keeper on the end. Put the keeper on whenever you're finished with it, because that way you'll keep the sharp edge. Don't just throw them into a box or tool bag or anything like that. So just get the dust off of there so we don't get dust going into the micromotor or the bearings. I'll leave the end in this. It always has to have something in, same with the air tool as well. You've got to have something in the end. It should be clamped down onto a tool. If you haven't got a tool, what they do come supplied with is a keeper. Not sure it's on, I've got it on the desk here, but it's basically just the shank of a drill or a bit without anything, without it actually being a bit. No, I haven't got one. So it's just like somebody cut the top off that, if you like, which then goes in and gives it something to clamp to, because that's kind of its natural position. If you leave it unlocked, then you stress the springs. If you leave it without anything in, you similarly stress the mechanism as well. So always leave a tool in. Your rotary tools like that, or these, the collet types anyway. Right, so let's just switch to that for a moment. I'm done. I'm going to clear up now, so there's not a lot of point in just continuing to broadcast. A desk that's not moving, or a piece of wood that's here on the desk. I'll show you again in a moment. But so I am going to call that the end of the stream. We should be on again tomorrow night. Tomorrow though we'll be doing something different. Probably the magic dots, because that's a project now to finish. I've got other projects to finish as well as a new one I want to start. I'm going to be doing a large rug. So that will be with a large needle. Stabbing a large needle through material. So that might be fun to do, but we'll see how it goes. Probably do the magic dots to finish that off. I'll get that finished. I'm not going to be doing carving again for a little while, I don't think. Move on to something else. So if you want to see, well, I don't know what it'll be. It could even be a latch hook rug, I guess. I've got such a lot of things that I ought to get on and finish, that I feel that I probably want to do that. Rugs are some of them. I don't think we'll be doing cross stitch on stream, but you never know. If you want to see it, let me know, and we potentially can do that, because I've got quite a few of those to do, and some that I have finished that I haven't done for a few years. I really ought to find, maybe next week, because I'm on leave. I'm on holiday all next week, it being my birthday on Monday. I'm not at work. Don't quite know what I'm going to be doing, but maybe I'll sit back on a settee or in a chair and do some cross stitch quietly to myself, watch some videos, maybe. That kind of feels nice at the moment. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, should you want to watch me tomorrow night, and I hope you do, I will start broadcasting as soon after 7 PM UK time as I can. That's GMT at the moment, or UTC, they're both the same. And that will depend on me just having made and eaten an evening meal. But hopefully soon after that as I can. We'll go on there for about 2 hours. If you would like to see all these different crafts, it would be fantastic if you consider supporting the channel. Follow is one way to support. Tweet that you're watching it, get your friends to watch, or even directly with the 2 buttons at the top right, proceeds of which all go towards the materials, tools and things that you see being used here on the stream. So, I think that's enough of an advert for tonight. I'm going to get on with cleaning up. Thank you for watching, hope to see you on the next stream. Bye for now.
And when the call came in, we were all
about to do something, scared of the outcome. I'm sorry to say this, but you aren't good for me. I'm about to change it all, about to cut you all off. Sorry if you get hurt by. I need to do this, I need to move with this, 'cause I know one thing, 'cause I feel one thing. I love what I do, yeah, the music it drives me too. I know my worth and you're in my way. Go ahead and tell me